Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the fourth episode of the podcast. I'm your host, your only host. I won't say my name because the government might be listening. Now, in my last episode, I said we'd be talking about a little bit of sports, but I feel that most of the people who listen to this aren't very big on sports, so I feel like we should switch it over to something I think is very interesting. Now, let's talk about planes. Because everyone loves planes. I like planes. They might be watching, but I still like planes. God, I cannot speak. So let's just start it out with a basic thing. What flies in the sky? Planes. What also flies in the sky? Birds. What are birds? They're animals. No, they're not. Everyone knows that birds are cameras. They were sent to us by the Soviets in World War II to distract us from getting into the war, and they have been surveying us ever since. Birds are not real. Birds do not exist. But planes do. Helicopters and planes are wonderful. They are beautiful creatures of the sky, and they are man-made. But I want to talk to you about black helicopters. Just the color, not the race. So this theory emerged in the US in the 1960s. The John Birch Society, bless their souls, asserted that the United Nations force would soon arrive in black helicopters to bring the US under UN control. Now I know this hasn't happened, and I know it didn't happen, but that's what originally promoted it. The theory re-emerged in the 1990s under the presidency of Bill Clinton, one of our presidents, and has been promoted by the talk show host Glenn Beck. Now, if you don't know who Glenn Beck is, I honestly say go check him out. He's a interesting person. But a similar theory concerning the so-called phantom helicopters also appeared in the UK in the 1970s. Now, if that isn't crazy, then who knows what it is. If you look up in the sky, do you see helicopters? You see choppers. They're all white and you can easily spot them and hear them, but what about the ones that you can't see? The black helicopters that fly around without us knowing, that watch our every move, that see what happens. Could the UN be plotting the destruction of the US? Who knows? I wouldn't, but just something to think about. Our lovely members up at the UN can tell you anything you'd like. Just ask them about the helicopter noises that you hear but don't see anything. All the times you look up in the sky and you hear a helicopter or an airplane, and then you look up and there's nothing there. What really are those noises that we're hearing? Are they the black helicopters? Are they phantom helicopters? What could they be? Who knows? But that's just a little something for you to think about. Little ear candy, I guess, to, soothe the ears and ease the mind. But anyway, let's move on to the next subject. Let's move on to Korean airline flight 007. Now, to all of you out there who don't know what it was the destruction of the flight by Soviet jets in 1983. It has long drawn interest of people such like myself, and these theories about the plane and what happened consist of allegations planned of an espionage mission, to the US government cover-up, to a consumption of the passengers' remains by giant crabs. Now this is outrageous, and I love this. I love outrageous. Outrageous is fun. And I feel like the Korean airline flight was a very interesting thing to learn about because there's so many things that could have happened to that plane that just kind of dink into your mind, like, oh my god, maybe it was actually killed by giant crabs. Who knows what the Soviets could be planning on this flight? Maybe it was something the government tried to cover up but still didn't get to in time, and they're just feeding us information that'll make us, stay quiet, and it'll just entertain the brains. But you can never honestly be sure. I know I'm never sure, and I don't expect any of you to be. But it's a little something to look into, a little something to tease the mind, as I like to say. But moving on, we are going to talk about the Malaysia Airlines flight MH370. Once again, I don't expect any of you to know any of this, because unless you're a plane enthusiast, a pilot out there, I don't expect you to know any of this. But so, the disappearance of the Malaysia Airline Flight 370 in Southeast Asia in March 2014 has prompted many theories. One theory, that I know of, suggests that the plane was hidden away and reintroduced as Flight MH17, which we'll talk about later, and later, the same year, in order to be shot down over Ukraine for political purposes. So this plane was hidden. People think that this plane was hidden by the government and then renamed as a different plane and then sent off to inevitably get shot down over the Ukraine for political purposes to help do whatever they need. Now, an American conspiracy theorist, James H. Fetzer, has placed responsibility for the disappearance with the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin. His name is Benjamin for short, because I can't pronounce his last name. Theories around this have also related to allegations that a certain autopilot technology was securely fitted in the aircraft, meaning that it didn't have a driver. It was, piloted by the plane. The plane had a smart enough mind, and someone programmed it into that plane. So I guess the true mastermind and the people who would know are the people who built the plane, because the people who would built the plane would know that there is no autopilot, or there is an autopilot, and the government would know, hey, yeah, this thing, we shot it down to help the political race in 2014. But, speaking of that, I also mentioned Flight MH17, so we're going to move on to that one, because they connect. So the Malaysia Airlines flight MH71 was shot down over Ukraine, like I previously stated, by Russian-backed rebels, or by the Russian military in July of 2014. This event has spawned numerous alternative theories. These variously include allegations that was secretly Flight MH370, like I said before, and that the plane was actually shot down by the Ukrainian Air Force to frame Russia, creating tension, doing what they need to do. And, that was a part of a conspiracy to conceal the truth about, whatever was on board. Some people say HIV, or that the Illuminati or Israel was responsible, but I think that it was just I think it was the Ukrainian government. I feel like the Ukrainian government would do that, knowing that in 2014 there was a little bit of tension, knowing that politics were rough, everything was getting weird, I feel that it might have been a frame by the Ukrainian government to frame Russia for doing things that they probably haven't done, or they probably did. And that's all I'm really going to say on that matter, because I feel that if I say more, I might have some people coming after me. And I know not a lot of people listen to this right now, but who knows, who could be listening in the future, government experts, whatever, I'm not saying this is going to go anywhere. No. This is just a little fun. But, you never know. Weird things happen to the strangest of people. Like, winning the lottery is a strange thing, and people win it all the time, and, getting famous is kind of a strange thing to think about, because you start with nothing, and some people don't even work for it, but they still get it, and the people who work are stuck, and, it's just a weird thing. But don't lose hope, viewers. If you want to get famous, you want to be in the NBA, you want to do this, you want to do that, go for it. I completely trust that you can do that. And if you can't, you don't feel confident, find something you do feel confident in, so that you can do it to the best of your ability. But that's all I'm going to say on jobs in that matter. And I know this was a short episode, but I feel like I might be nearing the end here. So, we'll talk about one more. Let's talk about chemical trails. So, this theory of chemtrails, also known as SLAP, S-L-A-P, Secret Large Scale Atmospheric Program. That's what that stands for. And that's what's been flying around, you know, the contrails of the engines and the water vapors, I say in quotes, that fly through the sky. But some people think that this condensation trails, the contrails from the aircraft, consist of chemical or biological agents, or they contain a supposedly toxic mix of aluminum, strontium, and barium. Now, and this is completely under secret government policies, so we're not supposed to know about this, but who knows if it's true. But an estimated 17%, which is kind of a lot, 70% of people globally in the world believe that this theory to be true or partly true. So some people out there actually do believe in this. People think that this is an actual thing. But in 2016, the Carnegie Institution for Science published the first ever peer-reviewed study of the chemtrail theory. 76 out of 77 parsitic atmospheric chemists and geochemists stated that they had seen no evidence to support the chemtrail. So, but is that completely true? You see, scientists are really good at lying sometimes. So they could say, oh no, there's nothing there, it's all fine. But, you know, it could really be there. Like, we could be breathing in these chemicals and letting these chemicals absorb into our bodies so that the government, and it's doing something to our body so that the government can control us and they can do what they want, keep us under wraps so that we don't do anything stupid. Even though we're the human race, we're bound to do something stupid. We already are, but scientists can lie just like any other person. It doesn't matter if 76 out of 77 said, oh, there's nothing wrong. What about that one person that said there was something wrong? What about that one person that's telling the truth? Or what about that one person who's worked on it, who knows what he's doing? You know, that geochemist or the atmospheric scientist or the chemist or whatever, whoever's working on it, you know, what if they're telling the truth and the others are just lying to themselves or lying to protect everyone and keep us in the unknown? Now, this wouldn't be the first time it's happened. It wouldn't be the first time that we're kept in the unknown. Like, governments keeping things from us so that we don't, come out and, like, oh my god, you're poisoning us slowly from the inside and we don't know about it. But now we know, and now we're pissed, and now we're going to riot. Because you can't control us for long. We are people of this earth. We are Americans. We are Germans. We are whatever we are. We are people of this world, and we deserve to know. And I feel like everyone should be able to know. I feel like things shouldn't be taken away from people or kept from people just because, oh, they're civilians. Oh, they're not important. They're not government agents. They're not this. They're not that. Well, what if we are this? What if we are that? What does it matter to you? Like, we are all people, aren't we? So we should all know the same. Although some things we might not understand, teach us how to understand it so that we all know what's going on, so we can, I don't know, save the earth, protect it, do what we need to do. Because the more things you hide from people, the worse it gets. If you hide secrets, you're gonna end up in a big hole. You're gonna end up, like, just beat up. Who knows what can happen to you? You need to tell people things. And if you find that keeping secrets is the best way to keep your life in check, then you're not living a really good life, buddy. Secrets are okay every once in a while if it doesn't hurt a person, but keeping something secret that could hurt someone, potentially, you should tell them. You should really, or you should let whoever, whatever, that, this, them, they, know about it, so they can deal with it on their own. Now, human behavior is a strange thing, and humans behave in many different ways, and I'm shifting away from planes for just a second, because planes in the sky and government, because this is a serious topic. I feel that secrets are the enemies of, common human relationships, and I feel that if you keep too many secrets, relationships are going to deteriorate over time. It's not going to be very good for you. You're not going to be who you want to be. You're not going to know who you want to know. You are just going to be alone by yourself, and everyone's going to call you, whatever. Who knows what people will call you. Depending on what secret you kept, there'll be differences. But you need to know that telling a person a secret will not hurt them. Telling a person that you know, if this person was, let's say, your closest friend, we'll call him friend X. If you told friend X that someone had already told you, friend Y, we'll call friend Y, friend Y has told you that they are going to physically harm or mentally harm friend X, but they told you that you have to keep it a secret, would you keep that secret? Is that really what you want to do? I feel that you shouldn't do that. I feel that you should tell person X that this person's going to physically harm you, physically, mentally harm you. But if it's something small, I understand. A little bit of secrets are alright, but big secrets that can potentially harm people aren't okay. And I can't stress that enough. You need to let people know. You need to let people know. And if you aren't in the know and people don't know, then tell people. If you are... I'm not going to start anything because I feel like I can talk about this in another episode, because next episode will be about human nature, humans, what we are, why we're here, what happened to us, why we are the way that we are. Simple things. But I'll continue this next time. So, till next time, viewers, I have been your host. Drive safe. Look out for the cat. Don't hit the cactus. Get up off the phone. Do whatever you need to do. But stay safe. Be aware. And I've been your host, signing out.